Hi guys, how are you? I'm your host Dr. Sanay, and today I'm here with a story that brings so much disappointment and shock to us all, as we need to, as a society, understand the ramifications of treating a child as unwanted, as the consequences of such an upbringing could be disastrous to the child, to the family, and even to society. Let's dive into this straight away. And not before I caution that the graphic details here might be too confronting to some viewers. Thank you. This is not for anyone under the age of 18. Thank you. Andrew Suh was born in South Korea to a wealthy and traditional Korean family. His dad was Robert Suh and his mom was Elizabeth, who worked as a pharmacist. Did I tell you that Andrew's dad was a man of power and high social status and worked as a high military-ranking military officer? Tragedy struck their family when their eldest son, Till, died. He was to be the heir of the family, as in Korean families, girls were not regarded as important as a son when it came to the inheritance of the family wealth. They had a daughter, Catherine, who had always felt that she had been ignored by her parents, not loved as much as they loved their son. She felt that she was not as important as her brother to her parents. Tragedy struck the family, as I said before, when little Till died of a horrific accident while playing on the roof. The family was now left without an heir. Robert felt lost and empty that his son and the pride of his family, who would carry on the family name, was gone. Robert put a lot of pressure on his wife to have another son, and she was quite stressed due to the fact that she was over 40. However, he gave her an ultimatum: "Give me a son or I'll divorce you." Luck was smiling on the family, and Elizabeth managed to get pregnant and give birth to a bouncy little boy, and they called him Andrew. After a few years, the Suh family migrated to America and settled there. They settled in Chicago and opened a small family business over there. Life was looking great once again for the family, as the caring, lovable, responsible little boy Andrew became his dad's big helper, the apple of Robert's eye. Meanwhile, Catherine was growing up feeling ignored and unloved by her family. Andrew was doing well at school and his parents were so proud of him. Guys, it's sad that Catherine was treated like a second-class citizen in her own family, as you would see that this would have severe ramifications on her and the whole family. When the parents talked to friends or other parents, they always spoke so highly of Andrew, and Catherine was feeling hurt and angry that she was always ignored by her parents and not valued. Her resentment grew as she hit her teen years. Now guys, this was a traditional Korean family. They imposed strict rules on Catherine about dating and going out at night and stuff like that. Catherine started having boyfriends and ignored her parents' wishes and their rules altogether. She possibly had felt so unloved that she did not care about her parents' wishes. She was rapidly turning very cold towards her parents. There were constant arguments and fights between Catherine and her parents at home, and little Andrew would be watching, feeling quite upset and sad, as he loved his parents and he loved his sister as well. Catherine enjoyed pushing her parents' buttons, and she even ran away from home often. She did not get along with her father in particular. Their heated arguments and hurtful words at each other would upset Andrew very much. Things were going from bad to worse. Some of these fights would turn physical, and it is said that her dad beat her too. Catherine was about 15, and one day a phone call to her home was answered by Dad Robert, and a boy at the other end said, "I want to speak to your daughter." This enraged the traditional man Robert, and he took this as a terrible personal insult. He had a huge argument with Catherine on this, and things got out of control, and he slapped her. Catherine had then jumped forward, ripped his shirt, scratched him across the chest, drawing blood. Guys, things had now come to a point of no return. Robert tried to burn himself with Catherine so they would both die together, but Elizabeth intervened and stopped them. Catherine and her father had no relationship whatsoever thereafter. Now, another black cloud fell over the family while Andrew was only 11 years old when Robert was diagnosed with cancer. Little Andrew cared for him like a professional carer and stayed by his dad's bed morning and night. Robert died soon after, but not before making Andrew promise he'd look after his mum at all times. Catherine did not care and showed absolutely no emotion at the death of her father. Little Andrew became his mum's rock too. He was 11. Catherine went about her business without a care in the world. She started dating a guy called Robert O'Dubain. He was 7 years older than her. Life was moving on as it would always do. One day, Andrew came back from school to his mum's store to find police cars outside the store. His mum had been stabbed viciously. Catherine and boyfriend were also there. Andrew felt the world had ended as he learned that his mum had died. The case went cold. Since Catherine was 18 years of age and Andrew was only about 13, she became his legal guardian, and her boyfriend Robert had moved in with them, and they lived like a family. Now guys, remember, Andrew was the family's heir. His parents had left him with $800,000, but since he was a minor, Catherine took charge of the money and she controlled everything. Andrew continued to study very well and things were looking all right for them again. It was at this time that Andrew went from strength to strength with his academic achievements and sport and was awarded a scholarship to Providence College in Rhode Island. He was around 19 years of age, and this was when Catherine and Robert, the boyfriend, started fighting. According to what she had told Andrew, Robert was being physically violent with her. She continued complaining to Andrew, who was a loyal, caring brother. And she threw a bombshell on him that it was Robert, the boyfriend, who had murdered their mother. Andrew was devastated. Catherine told him that they had to make sure that they get rid of him. Andrew, though furious with Robert for killing his mother, wasn't ready to kill anyone. Catherine kept telling him that they needed to work together and that he was the man of the family who had to safeguard their family. So she was guilt-tripping Andrew. After much deliberation and saying no many times, Andrew agreed to kill Robert, who was mistreating his sister. And he shot Robert one night with the gun his sister had given him. 19-year-old Andrew, the ever-loyal, ever-faithful son, brother, was trapped by the utter manipulation of his horrible sister. He was under her evil persuasion to commit murder. Andrew was arrested. His entire life, his future fell into pieces the day he had agreed to do his sister's bidding. Kill her sister's boyfriend? Oh! He was charged with first-degree homicide and initially given a 100-year sentence, which was reduced to 80 years after appeal. The mastermind of the crime, Catherine, skipped town. She had disappeared and started living in Hawaii under a fictitious name. She was later captured and given a life sentence too. The ever-loyal Andrew tried writing to her as he still loved her. She rejected him and is supposed to have asked him never to contact her. "I don't know who you are. I don't have a brother," she had said. Guys, it's widely believed, however, that it was Catherine who had stabbed their mum. And she wanted her only witness, her boyfriend Robert, dead, so she would never have to fear him turning against her. Well, things didn't work out her way anyway. She will most likely die in prison. People have little or no sympathy for her, though somehow I feel that had her parents treated her better with love and acceptance, this story probably would have ended very differently. Andrew's whole life was shattered due to the monstrous issues within the family. He's 47 years old now and is serving his sentence in Dixon Correctional Center in Lee County, Illinois. While in no way would we ever condone Catherine's actions, guys, she never had a proper childhood. She never had a secure base with her mom and her dad. No love. They did not show her love, any understanding or any support, and they did not show that they valued her at all. Had Catherine not been engulfed by these uncaring feelings projected to her by her parents and the messy violence at home and the isolation she had always felt as a kid, maybe she would have had a chance to know love, give love, and be a successful woman. Well, that is if she was shaped by positive experiences of her childhood. We are not condoning her violence at all. However, my take on this tragedy, guys, is that she deserved love as a child from her parents. I wonder what your thoughts are on this, guys. Hope you leave a comment and don't forget to press that subscribe button to see more stories like this. Thank you and good night.